One, Magen Abraham says another reason to put seat on people who are passed away is because what's going to be with Tahiyat HaMetim? They're going to wake up and they're not going to have seat. And so even for the time they have to go to the store, Judaica Plaza or something, Judaica place, and Eichler's, they wait for it to come from Amazon for 3 days. Tahiyat HaMetim. And so they need seat ready right away. Okay, interesting. Another interesting thing, the Pithei Teshuvah says in the name of Hagaon Ya'betz. He says very interesting. The Ya'betz says only someone who wears tzitzit in his life and has his own talit, you bury him in a talit. But someone, Ya'betz says, who wasn't a talit wearer and he didn't have his own talit, don't bury him in talit, in tzitzit. Ya'betz says this. Mamash like one of the Shitot in Tosafot.
But it's an opinion. It's not like
it's Ya'betz. Ya'betz is posek. We don't hold like Ya'betz, but this is his Pizak Halakha. And he goes further. And the Pithei Teshuvah says, the Pithei Teshuvah, Rabotai, the Pithei Teshuvah says on this Ya'betz, he says, you know what, I'm not so comfortable penalizing someone who didn't wear tzitzit in his life, not giving him talit when he's dead. And so it says the Pithei Teshuvah, instead, let's do this. If the guy has his own estate, you're listening? Listening, do we have your attention? If the guy has his own estate, if the estate has cash to purchase a talit, use the funds from his estate to buy him a talit, if he didn't have his own. But, says the Pithei Teshuvah, unbelievable. If the guy doesn't have a talit and money to purchase a talit in his will, he's underwater on his house, so he's in debt, don't take money from tzedakah to buy him a talit. Take the money to buy him tachlichin, to bury him in tachlichin, yes. Take the money to buy him a talit from tzedakah money? No. This is what the Pithei Teshuvah says, because he didn't wear it in his life, and it's specific. Maybe it's even hurting him, the fact that he put him in talit. Lo'eg larash. Unbelievable. Okay. By the way, the Ya'betz also says, he heard that some people say the person should be buried dafka in his own talit, and Ya'betz says, to me, this is nonsense. It doesn't matter, your talit, not your talit. I know our custom is in the person's talit himself, but Ya'betz himself says, not a big deal. At the very least, if you know of someone, a family member who didn't get a talit or didn't get his own talit, this can make you feel a little bit better. There are lots of different opinions that you have to rely on. Okay. Now let's go further into this question. We have Rabbi Hiya and we have Rabbi Yonatan. We have Mahloket. Rabbi Hiya holds people when they're not alive, they still know what's going on. Rabbi Yonatan says, no, they don't know what's going on. So the Gemara says, turn back to the second page. The Gemara says, V'hametim. We're like, around 10 lines from the top. V'hametim enam yodim me'uma. You really think that people who are not alive don't know what's going on? Elu, that's the pasuk, sorry, that's the pasuk. V'hametim enam yodim me'uma, elu l'sha'im, sheb'chayehem k'ruim metim. People who don't know, people who are dead are the sha'im. Even when they're alive, they're the sha'im, they're dead. They're spiritually dead. Shne'emar, ve'ata halal rashan nasi Yisrael. V'ibait ema me'acha. Or you could say from here, al pi shenaim edim, or al pi shlosha edim yumatamid. Says Rabbi Hiya to Rabbi Yonatan. It says, when you have a court case, and you have one guy against another, v'yitzdiku tasadik, v'yeshiu tarasha, okay? It says you make the tzaddik a tzaddik, you make a rasha a rasha. What's the famous vart that they say in this pasuk? V'yizdiku tzaddik, v'yeshiu rasha. Very famous pshat they say. V'yizdiku tzaddik, he's not a tzaddik until you make him a tzaddik. V'yizdiku ta'ish. Answer is, you're saying he was always a tzaddik. V'yizdiku it a tzaddik. You're saying no, he was always a tzaddik. And v'yeshiu rasha. The guy that you say was rasha was always a rasha. Well, says Rabbi Hiya, the same thing applies to Al pi shenayim edim yumat hamet. Yumat hamet or yumat ha'ish? The answer is, if he's a rasha, where he did something to deserve death penalty, even when he is alive, he's a met. Ken. Al pi shenayim edim yumat hamet. You ever hear the phrase "dead man walking"? He's a dead man walking. Yeah. So if a person has a gemad din that he killed someone balminan, or he did one of the worst things, or he did adultery, or God forbid, and he has a death sentence, he's a dead man. Well, he's already met, even though he's alive. Okay. So he says, Al pi shenai medim or shloshah din yumat emet. Hi hu, he's alive. Ela hamet meikara, he's already dead. Now, we had the mahloket, the Bihiyah and the Bihonatan. Now the Gemara is going to say, the Bihiyah, when he's gone now, he's not alive anymore. Now his two kids are going to have the same mahloket. Bnei Rabbi Hiyah, the two sons of Rabbi Hiyah, Nafuk lekiryata, they're walking along their business fields. They had estates, and they're walking along their business fields. Aikalehu talmudaihu. They forgot their learning. They were trying to walk. They're walking, surveying all their properties, and so someone says, "Okay, let's learn something." Now, in those days, there was no Gemara written down, no books. It's all Baal Peh. Torah Baal Peh was Baal Peh, and so it says, "Okay, let's talk in Torah." He said, "I don't remember anything. I forgot it. I don't remember." They were really in pain, trying to remember their Torah. They couldn't remember anything. Amaleh, these are the sons of Rabbi Hiyah. Amaleh hal lehabreh, one tells his friend, Yada abun behayt sa'ara. You think Abba, Rabbi Hiyah, our father, who held that dead people know what's going on, you think he knows how much in pain we are that we don't remember anything? Or do you think he has no idea this is going on? So he said, we can't remember, we'll talk about something else. You think Dad knows what's going on right now? You think he knows about our conversation right now? Rabbi Hiyah. Amala idach. So the brother tells him, Minayada, how in the world would he know what's going on with us? V'haketiv, it says, Yichbedu banav velo yeda. It says in Eiyov. Yichbedu banav, a person who passes away, his sons become very honorable people, wealthy, president. The guy who passed away, he has no clue what's going on with his family. He doesn't know. Yichbedu banav velo yeda. So therefore, Abba, the Bihiyah, has no idea what's going on with us right now. This is what one of the sons tells the other. Amalaidach, the other son replies, Velo yada, you really think he doesn't know? V'haketiv, ach besaro alav yich'av v'nafsho alav te'avel. It says in the pasuk, his flesh will pain him when he's passed away. V'nafsho alav te'avel, and he will mourn on his soul, on his nefesh. V'amar b'yitzhak, we did this Gemara a few months ago, guys. V'amar b'yitzhak, kasher imal lemet kemahat basar ahai. We did this when we were talking about Yisurim, Moshe, remember? Rabbi Yitzhak says, even in the ground, when the worms are eating the body, banminan, I mean, it happens to everybody, when the worms are eating, it's very painful for the dead person, as painful as if you took a knife to your own skin right now. That's what it feels like for them. So therefore, I prove to you from here that they do know what's going on, and they have feelings, and they know. Amri, he says, no, I can answer you. They feel their own pain of the worms. But how in the world can they know other people's pain? Maybe they only feel their own pain. Velo, no, you don't think so. V'hatanya, now, get a hold of this story. This is a wild story. Ezra, this is a crazy story. Pay attention. You think they don't understand what's going on down here. V'hatanya, we learned, Ma'aseh b'hasid ehad. It happened with one Hasid, Shinatan dinar le'ani be'erev Rosh Hashanah b'shnei batzoret. He gave his last golden dinar, golden coin, to a poor person, erev Rosh Hashanah. That was the last of his money. He gave it all the way to the poor person. What did his wife say when she heard? She flipped out when she heard. His wife went crazy on him. What did you give away all the money to the poor person for? Who told you to do this? Irresponsible. Like a good wife would do. V'halach. What does a good husband do when he gets yelled at? Halach v'lan b'bet hakevarot. So he said, I'm out of here. I'm not on the couch. I'm on the cemetery. He goes and he sleeps in the bet hakevarot. Okay. V'shama shetei ruchot shemisapeh. V'shama shetei ruchot. If your wife throws you out of the room, you should be happy. You're not halfway in the grave. Shama shetei ruchot. He hears two spirits from people buried in the Bet HaKevarot. Rashi says there were young girls, 2 young girls who passed away young. They're talking to each other. This is Rosh Hashanah night. Rosh Hashanah night. One girl tells the other one, Habirati, my friend, boy, v'nashut ba'olam, let's go fly around the world. V'nishma me'achorei pargod. Let's go here from behind the curtain. The pargod is the curtain. Rashi says it's the curtain. Where is Rashi? Pargod mechitza hamavdelet bin makom l'shechinah. It divides Hashem's shechinah. The pargod is a very holy curtain. Where does the word pargod come from? Parochet. It maybe have the same shoresh. Parochet and pargod possibly are related. Parochet is the Mishkan. It divides the Kodesh and the Kodesh HaKodashim. Also, I've heard that the word parech is the same thing. Parech, hard work, it's dividing you from your normal life. Moshe, you like this? Parech, the peresh, means something that breaks. It breaks between 2 things. Okay? Okay. Let's go fly around and see what's going on. Mapur anut bala olam. Don't you want to see what bad things are going to happen to the world? No, the bad news is always the good news. Turn on the news, right? And so it's Rosh Hashanah tonight. I'm sure some people are going to have some bad decrees. Let's go see the juicy information. This is what one girl tells another girl. While he's sleeping in the Beit HaKevarot, he hears them talking. Amrala. And so Amrala Habirta, the other girl, responds and says, Eni yechola, I cannot come with you. She'ani kevura v'machasela shel kanim. I'm buried in a mat of bamboo, of rods, of reeds, of sticks, not tachlichim. They rolled her in a mat, like a sechach mat. They rolled her and they buried her. And so therefore what? And so the Mfarshim say, so therefore it's not disintegrated yet. It's not decomposed yet into the ground. And the Mfarshim talk about why can't she go? And so it's a mahloket. So one pirush is that the neshama lemala, it looks just like the neshama lemata, just like the guf lemata. And so if she's in a little straw, mamash, she's buried in a straw mat, then if she goes around the world, everyone in the malachim are going to look at her like in a straw mat. And it's embarrassing. Another pshat they say, Ben Ish Chai quotes this, is that the neshama doesn't have minuhat nefesh until it's decomposed. This is why we want to bury it right away. When the guf is still kayam, says the Ben Ish Chai, when the guf is still kayam, it's still stuck. The ruach is still stuck down here in the guf. It can't leave the guf yet. The Maharsha says, we say nefesh, ruach, and shama. Yeah, I know yahidah, but the main 3 things are nefesh, ruach, and shama. So the Maharsha says, now it's a mahloket amongst the Mekubalim, they'll get different answers from each one. What stays behind when someone is buried in the ground? What stays behind? The nefesh, the ruach and shema, or is it all gone lemala? When you go visit your loved one in the grave, are they there? Is their spirit there, or is only the bottom?
Only a nefesh.
The whole thing.
And so here's what the Maharsha says. The Maharsha says that the nefesh is the homed. Nefesh is the body. Ki adam hu Try again. No. Ki adam hu. No. Ki adam hu nefesh. Ki adam hu nefesh. Exactly. So the blood is the soul, and so the Maharsha says the nefesh is the guf, is the body. The neshama is the higher part. It's elevated. Think like a sandwich. The guf, the neshama is the most spiritual part. And what's the middle part? The glue. Whoa. The glue between the neshama and the nefesh is the ruach, says the Maharsha. Now, when a person passes away, the Maharsha says the neshama, the upper part, goes up to Gan Eden. And the nefesh is staying down here with the guf. What about the ruach? What does the Gemara call these girls?
The ruach go with the neshama.
Hold on, Yoshua. What does the Gemara call these girls? Ruhot, it calls them. Okay? So the Maharsha says the ruach is the sandwich between the guf and the neshama. Okay? And so sometimes, says the Maharsha, the ruach can jump around. it can join the neshama lemala. It has the ability to fly around and come back down to the grave. And so the ruach, the neshama, is imagine like the like in the NASA. Yeah, that's ruach Elohim. That's it. Yeah, simply different. So you have nefesh, ruach, and shama. The nefesh stays down here. According to the Maharsha, the nefesh stays down. So at least the nefesh is there, always, or a piece of the nefesh. The neshama is gone. It's too holy. Yeah, and the ruach, maybe it's there, maybe it's not there. Okay, this is what the Maharsha says. Huh?
Isn't it also time bound?
What time?
Once the body is the same.
Yeah. So it's so many opinions. Some people say for 30 days. There's another slice. Hashem can slice it. A piece of it can stay down longer. By the yard side, it'll come back. Also, it is time bound.
She goes to 7 days. She goes from the house to the belly, from the מהקבר לבית.
Can. Yeah. Okay. The Ben Ish Hai, like I said, the Ben Ish Hai quotes the Slah, like I told you, and he says, as long as the Tzlah with the Tzaddik, the Tzlah says, as long as the goof is Kayam, as long as the body is still around, the Ruach is stuck down here and it cannot go up. It's stuck, it's held hostage. And so she said, I can't come with you, I can't, I'm stuck here. Why was she stuck? Because her body wasn't completely decomposed. This is why the Ben Ish Hai says it's in mitzvah to bury someone right away. You want to get them released from their jail. The goof is jail. You want to get them to go up to Shamayim. And also number 2, that's why we put them in tachlichim of pishtan. It disintegrates very fast. The tachlichim of the linen, it goes very fast. And so therefore we want them to get the process going so they can go join the yeshiva shel. Okay. And so she says, I can't come with you because I'm buried in a mahaselet, in a mat. Okay. Ella, I have an idea. Lechiat, you go, fly around. Uma she'at shomat, whatever you hear. Imrili, tell me. Halechahi. So the second girl goes. It was her idea. She goes off. Vishata, and she flies around. Uba'a ve'amra la habirta. She comes back, and her friend tells her, Habirti, my buddy, mashamat me'achorei hapagod. What did you hear from behind the curtain? You hear anything good behind the curtain? What does she say? Amrala, she says, Shamati, shekol hazorea biriv'a rishona barad malkeoto. Anyone who plants in Israel the crops, the seeds, on the first rain, there's going to be a hail, it's going to destroy all the crops that grew. So in other words, people who are early to grow, they're going to be destroyed, wiped out. Okay? This is what she heard from, the decree came down, Rosh Hashanah. This is what she heard. Now, who is listening to this whole thing? It's Hasid Ahad, he's listening to the whole thing. He hears her come back and say this. It's like getting the lottery ticket numbers, So what does he do? Halachu, he goes, Vizara birv'ashniyah. He waits. He doesn't plant in the first rain. He waits for the second rain. After the hail comes, he plants. This guy's got a growing crop. Everyone else is wiped out. Shel kol ha'olam kolo laka. Everyone else lost all their produce. Shelo lo laka. This guy was rolling. He had a great year. He was remember, he was a ani. He was poor. He gave away his last coin. And now Hashem gave him the clue to make millions of dollars in 1 year. Maybe billions. He was the only guy. So, what would you do? Next year, I'm going back, baby. We're going back to the cemetery. Why go to Uman? We can go to why go to that kibbutz? Go to this kibbutz. The next year, halach vilan bebet hakevarot. I'm going back to sleep in the bet hakevarot. He hears these two friends. They're talking to each other again. One tells her friend, let's go fly around and hear what's going to happen this year. She said, my friend, didn't I tell you last year, I'm not allowed to go. I'm buried in a mat of wood. You go. And you find out and tell me the news. She goes, and she flies around. She comes back. And her friend tells her, Habirti, my friend, what did you hear behind the curtain? She says, Shamati, שכל הזורע ברבעה שנייה, שידפון מלקה אותו. Anyone who plants in the second rain, there's going to be a big wind, it's going to knock him out. So anyone who thinks about, last year they learned a lesson, wait for the second rain. This year they plant for the second rain, it's going to be even worse. They're going to wipe out. What is shidafon? Shidafon, if you look at the dream of Paro, shidufeh, shidufot kadim. Okay? So it means, halach. So now what does this guy do? He got the lottery ticket again. Halach, he goes, vizara, b'riv arishona. I'm going to plant in the beginning when no one else is planting. They're all waiting for the second one. Shekol ha'olam kolo nishdaf. Everyone else lost all their stuff in the wind. V'shelo lo nishdaf. And this guy's trillions he's making now, this guy. Okay. Amnalo ishto. Now already his wife is suspicious. So amnalo ishto. His wife says, this guy went from a nobody to a billionaire in 2 years. He says, no. Mipinema ishtakad. של כל העולם כולו לקה, ושלך לא לקה, ועכשיו שכל העולם כולו נשדף, ושלך לא נשדף. What's up with you? What are you, a genius all of a sudden? Everyone else lost their money this year. How are you making all this? Where do you know this information? Sahla kol hadivanim halalu. He tells her the entire story. I was at the Kivanim, I heard the two girls. Amru, the people said, Lo hayun yamim mu'atim. It was only a few days. Ad shenafla ketata ben ishto shel oto hasid, or ben ima shel oto riba. This lady had a fight with one of the girls' mother, of course. And she couldn't wait to use the juicy information. She was waiting to use it. And so the second one of these girls' mothers said something nasty to her, she says, yeah? You know what your daughter's doing right now? She's stuck. She's stuck in a kenim, bamboo mats. She can't move around. Amrala, I'll come. I'll show you your daughter. Dig her up. You'll see she's in bamboo mats. That's what you did to your daughter. The third year, where does he do? I'm going back to my cemetery.
His wife makes him sandwiches. Here they go again. They're talking, these two girls. Let's go fly around. And listen behind the curtain. What's going to happen to the world? My friend. Leave me alone. Devarim shebeni lebenech kevat nishpe'um ben ha'chaim. Our conversation is being heard by the living. This is over. We're through. No more flying and reporting, nothing. And she's still stuck, obviously. In the third year, she was still stuck. Okay, now, Ben Ish Hai, Maharsha, just about all the heavy hitter Mifashim say, there is no chance this happened in a real cemetery. Instead, they say it was a dream that he was in a cemetery. Rosh Hashanah night, he was in his house, and he had a dream that he was in a cemetery and heard these girls. Okay?
Anyway, Max, wouldn't he have to tell the people, like, warning them, don't do that. Instead of keeping it for himself.
תנסה
What,
לעשות,
and you still call him Hasid?
תנסה לעשות משהו,
I
לא
mean, he's
תגיד
only
לאשתך.
only thinking about himself,
If he's going to let the cat out of the bag.
so he's not Hasid.
But-
I'm sorry. This is not Hasid.
Yeah, but it's the second you tell everyone, it's over. The game's over.
Yeah, but your brothers, what?
Okay, let's see. Why are we bringing this story, Haberim? What is the whole point of this story? It's a proof that what?
Hasidah.
It's a proof. What are you talking about this for? It's a proof that they know what's going on. They know what's going on. Alma yad'i, we see that they know what's going on. How could you tell me they don't know what's going on? No, the Gemara
It's a
says.
dream. It's a dream, nothing.
But he was right.
Dream come true.
It was right though. Dilma, the answer is no. Maybe they don't know what's going on. Dilma, ine shaharina shechiv. Another person died. People die throughout the year. Another person died. Ve'azil ve'amadehu, and he told the two girls, "Hey, you know what's weird? In the first rain, there's schmoozing. In the first rain, everyone got wiped out. And the next year, another guy died, and they heard the conversations. And so maybe they don't really know what's going on with everyone. Only the metim can talk to the metim and fill them in."
But
This is the Gemara's question.
the Ruchot only knew it after she had a fight with her mom.
So that shows that perhaps they know when it has to do with family members.
Maybe.
There is the connection.
Could be. Yeah.
Because before that, they didn't
I
know.
think that's just
It's a weird story.
Yeah. It's a very weird story. Let's do another one, shall we? What time is it? Are we good? We're almost done. I want to get the resolution. Let's do another one. Tashema, I have another question for you, a proof. The Ze'iri was the name of a person. By the way, I am not insulted if you have to go. Go ahead, I'm not insulted. Go ahead. Ze'iri was the name of a guy. Hayam Mafkid Zuzi Gabe Ushbezichte. He hid all of his money with his landlady. And so he didn't have a bank. All the money Ze'iri made, he gave to the landlord. The landlady, he said, you hide it for me. I don't even want to know where it is. If I know where it is, I'm going to touch it. And she hid it for him. When he was out in yeshiva, Shechiva, the lady drops dead. And she's the only one who knows where all his money is. Azal batra lahatzad mavet. He followed her into the courtyard of death. What does this mean, the courtyard of death?
Graveyard.
Huh?
Graveyard.
It could be the graveyard. We're not really sure what it means. Yesh omnim it's bet kevarot. Yesh omnim it's a very spiritual level. Ze'iri was a rabbi. A very, very spiritual level where we can't do it, where certain people can communicate with the dead. They request before they go to sleep, I want to talk to this person, they should come into me as a dream. And so he said, and I want to talk to my landlady when I go to sleep. I need her to come to me in a dream because she has all my cash. Okay. Ben Ish Chai says, Hatzal Mavit, Ben Ish Chai is an unbelievable reason. He says, now, don't ask me questions because I haven't been there yet, thank God, and I don't know for sure. I don't know what I read from the Ben Ish Chai. Ben Ish Chai says, the way it works is the neshamot, they're not always on one level. They get invited up, they go down, they invited up, they go down. And so he says the tzaddikim, the good souls, they're in this like waiting room. It's like a waiting room for like the elevator to be summoned up and down. Hatzad Mavet is the courtyard of the good people who passed away. They're all there waiting for an invitation to come up closer to the Shekhinah. That's what the Ben Ish Chai says. It's a holy place, the Hatzad Mavet.
מה, היו קוראים לזה שם אחר, כל לפניהם, וואי חצר מוות.
I don't know.
כי זה חסר בשם.
Good question. I don't know. Okay. These are Devarim.
זה האנשים שמחכים ללכת לגיהינום.
No. Has v'shalom. No. Ben Ish Chai says no. Devarim nistanim. Amar. So now, he goes up and he talks to her. Or it's in a dream. Ben Ish Chai says all this was in a dream. All the stories we're bringing, all dreams. It's not real. Amar la, he says to her, Zuzi hecha, where's my flus? Where's my cash? Amar le, she tells him, Zil shaklinhu mitute mitzanure dedasha. Go take it from underneath the hinge of a door. Beduch palan, in such a place, underneath the hinge of one of the doors in this such and such a place, under the ground, you'll see the money. And while you're going, ve'ema la le'ima, please tell my mom a message for me. Teshadeli masrekai ve'guftai dechuchna. Please, that she should come give me, I need my comb, my brush, and my makeup. And how am I going to get it? Who is she going to give it to? How is she going to get it to me? Bahade pelnita, give it to so-and-so girl, because she's coming to me tomorrow. She's coming to our side tomorrow. And so, this is the Gemara, Talmud Bavli. And so, Rashi says, she died young, tragically, this girl. The landlady died young, very young age. And Rashi says, it seems apparently her mother moved on from it and wasn't crying anymore, and she wanted Admat Nefesh. And so she said, send me my comb and my makeup. Like, I'm young, I need to put makeup on. I can't go without makeup. To remind her mother that she passed away, because her mother forgot about it. But she knows who's coming tomorrow. Al Ma'yati, so we see that they know what's going on, and they know who's coming tomorrow. Gemara says, It's a proof to Rabbi Hiya. Dilma, Duma kadim umachriz lehu. Maybe Duma is the name. Not we know that there's someone called Malach HaMavet, but there's another angel called Duma. Yeshua knows it. Duma is in charge of announcing when a person's coming to visit, to move in.
That's when the family comes.
And so maybe Duma comes and says, attention, we have a new person joining this Bet HaKevarot. And that's how she knew. And so Lav Davka, she would know without being told. Unbelievable. Okay, let's try another question, another proof. So we still can't get a good proof for the Hiya that they for sure know what's going on. Tashema de Abua de Shmuel. Listen to this one. Shmuel's father, his name was what? We call him all the time in the Gemara Abua de Shmuel. What? What'd you say? What? What'd you say? What'd you say?
No, I thought it was Bob. We say it.
Oh, close. No. His name was Abba. But he's always.
Abba, that's what I was
Oh, you said that. Beautiful. We call him all the time Abua de Shmuel, the father of Shmuel. Now, why was he called Abua de Shmuel? Because Shmuel, his mother lived in a certain town, and his father went to do business. His father was a very big rabbi, very big tzaddik. He was one of the Gedolei Ador. And his father went out to do business, and he met this woman who was a very spiritual woman, and he's very far away. And the woman told him, I see that tonight, if you conceive and you're with someone and have a baby, and you start the process tonight, this kid's going to be unbelievable. Unbelievable. And he said, thank you for the information. I'm married. She's like, no, I want to be with you, please, because I want a special child. She wanted to be with him. He said, no, if I'm going to have a kid, it's going to be with my wife. And so he flew back home. Now, some people say, for those who don't like magic, sorry, some people say he said Shem Hashem. And instantly, he had Kivzat HaDerech, and he appeared in the house immediately. Some people say he flew home quick, without telling anybody. He was with his wife that night, and then he had to go run back to his business to do what he was doing. Nobody in town knew he was coming back. His wife got pregnant. And so everyone said that she cheated on her husband. And they started hitting her. The Gemara, another place, Ketuvot, I think, says, Shemuel says, the baby was Shemuel, the great Shemuel. Shemuel says, when I was in my mother's stomach, I used to feel the people trying to punch my head. In the stomach, he says. This boy turned out to be Shemuel, and what did she decide to name? She named him Shemuel. And what did they decide to call his father from that day on? Abua de Shmuel. He is the father of Shemuel. It's his kid. So forever he's known as Abua de Shmuel. His other name is Abba. He's a father too. So either way, he's good. Okay, let's see. Abua de Shmuel, his father, when he was alive, Havuka mafkede gabe zuzeh diyatmi. He was in charge of the orphan fund. Anybody wanted to donate money for your orphans, Yatomim, they gave it to Shemuel's father. What happened to him? He died. Kinach nafsheh, he died. Where's all the cash? He had the secret fund, all the money. Lo ava Shemuel gabeh, and Shemuel wasn't with him when he was about to die, so he can tell his son where all the money is hidden for the orphans. Havu kakarule bad achil zuzeh diyatme. They said his name should no longer be Abua de Shmuel or Abba. His name should be the guy who ate the money of the orphans. He stole all the money of the orphans. Now Shemuel wants to clear his father's name. Azal abatre lahatzad mavet. He goes to Hatzad Mavet. Now, for those who said Hatzad Mavet is the Bet HaKevarot, or a physical place, Shemuel was a Kohen. Shemuel can't go to a Bet HaKevarot. And so from here we have a proof Hatzad Mavet is not a physical place. Okay? And what does he want to do? He wants to talk to his dad. Amar lehu, he tells the people, Ba'ina Abba. Bring Abba. Not Abba as in daddy. Abba was his father's name. Abba. Amrule, they told him, Abba tu ba'ikahacha. There's a lot of Abbas over here. Which one do you want? Amar lehu, Ba'ina Abba bat Abba. No, okay, so go call for me Abba bat Abba, because my grandpa's name is also Abba. Amru la, Abba bar Abba nami tu ba'ika. We also have a lot of guys named Abba bar Abba, so you got to be more clear. Who are you looking for? Okay. Ba'ina Abba bar Abba Abua de Shmuel. I want Abba bar Abba, the father of me, Shmuel. Hecha, where is he? Amru le, they told him, Salik lemetifta dedekiya. He's in the upper Shamayim, in learning with the Shekhinah, close to the Shekhinah. He's in such a high place. He's gone from down here. He's not down here in the waiting room. Adehachi hazia lelevi. Now he says he sees his friend Levi. The Yativ Abara, he's sitting outside the circle of the other guys. Levi was a great rabbi, and it was his Rebbe and also friend. And so he sees Levi over there sitting alone. And now he turns to Levi. Amar le amay yatbat abarai. Why are you sitting on the outskirts and you're not up with the Rikiya and the Metifta? Maita Amar lo salakt. Why didn't you go up, Levi? Amar le, he told him, de amri li. They told me in Shamayim, kol ki hanach shani de lo selikat le Metifta de Rabbi Afes. All the years where I withheld and didn't go inside Rabbi Afes's yeshiva, I refused to go into the yeshiva. And va'ahalishte ladate, I caused Rabbi Afes pain, emotional pain, because the great Levi didn't go to his yeshiva. Lo ma'ayalina lach bebet, lo ma'ayalina lach, the metifta dakia. They will not let me up into Shamayim until the same amount of years I caused him in pain, have to wait for my passing until they let me up. Now, what happened with Levi? Again, if you have to go, I don't care, go. I want to finish the topic, okay? What happened with Levi? Okay, so Levi is also another Gemara. Levi was a great rabbi. He was the student of Rabbi Yehuda Nasi. Levi, when Rabbi Yehuda Nasi passed away, he said, I want Rabbi Hanina to take over as the chief rabbi. Now, Rabbi Hanina was not the oldest student of Rabbi Yehuda Nasi. Rabbi Afes was older than him. And so Rabbi Hanina said to himself, how could I be the Rosh Hashiva when my elder, and also great rabbi, Rabbi Afes is here? Let Rabbi Afes be the Rosh Hashiva. So they said, where are you going to go? You're going to sit in Rabbi Afes' shiurim? You know more than him. He said, I don't need to be in the yeshiva. I'll go outside the yeshiva, put a chair for me outside, and I'll sit outside and I'll learn. But I want him to be in charge. So I get it. I can't be inside, fine. I'll stay outside the yeshiva. This is what Rabbi Hanina did. Now Levi comes. Levi is also genius. Levi says, what am I going to do? I'm going to leave him outside all by himself. He's the best guy in the whole place. I'm going to learn with him. And so Levi goes outside and learns with him all those years. And he didn't go inside Rabbi Afes' yeshiva. He rather stayed with Rabbi Hanina outside the yeshiva. Rabbi Afes saw this as an affront to his kavod. Now, two of the greatest rabbis are not part of the class. What does it make him look like? And so he said, please, come inside the yeshiva. No, we're perfectly happy outside. Thank you very much. We have all-star, Hall of Fame Havruta outside the yeshiva. Rabbi Afes says, come on, I'm trying to get guys to come in. You're going to make guys go out. And so it bothered him very, very much. When Rabbi Afes died, because he was older, then Rabbi Hanina became the Rosh Hashiva. Now Rabbi Hanina moves in. Now Levi just lost his Havruta. What's he going to do now? He moved. Yeah, I'm getting out of here. He moved to Babel. This is the story of Levi. All those years, this is another Gemara Ketuvot, also Gemara Shabbat talks about this. So, all those years he made Rabbi Afes in pain because he wouldn't join the yeshiva, because he was too smart. He has to pay those prices now, and he's stuck down there. Okay, let's go back to the Gemara. Now when he's talking to Levi, oh really, you can't go up? Now comes his father. They called his father down. He sees his father is crying, but smiling. Crying and laughing at the same time. Now, if someone's dead, what would be weirder for you? If they're smiling or they're crying?
Well, smiling.
Right. Smiling would be weird, right? I understand you're crying because you're dead. No, not Shemuel. Not Shemuel. It's the opposite. I understand why you're happy. I want to know why you're crying. It's the opposite. So Rabbi Shimon, why are you crying? You should be happy. You shouldn't be crying. Amale dela'agal ka'atit. Because very quickly you're coming here. Look at the word la'agal. What does that remind you of? Ba'agala or bizman kariv yemru amen. Ba'agala means hurriedly, quickly. Ba'agala.
Why didn't you say Bagala?
You can't ask me this question. If I didn't tell you that last thing, you wouldn't have the question. You're coming to join me. Okay, now I understand why you're crying. Why are you happy? Why are you happy? Because you are so important in this world. You have no idea what a madriga we consider you on Shemuel. And so I have a nahat from you. Amaleh, he tells him, oh, they like me. They think I'm good. Okay. If they like me and they consider me important, Levi. I want Levi up. Finish with his sentence. Send my friend Levi up to the Shamayim. Levi. And so they did. They sent Levi straight up. So he got rid of the whole sentence on Levi. Amaleh. Now, what was he there for? The orphan money. Amaleh. Zuzi diatmi hecha. Where's the money for the orphans? Amaleh. He says, Zil shaklinhu be'amata derahya. Go get it from inside one of the stones by the mill. Now, when you go inside, when you go inside the stone, you're going to see money on the bottom, money in the middle, a sack of money in the bottom, and then a little more sack of money in the middle, and then a sack of money on the top. And this is what you're going to do. Ilai v'tatai didan. The bottom sack of money and the top sack of money is my money, which is now your money. Or mitz'i diyatmi. The middle sack of money belongs to the tzedakah, to the orphans. Amaleh ma'itama abat hachi. Why'd you do this? 3 sacks. Amaleh, he said, iganu ve'ganavi miganvu. If people are going to steal the money, ganvu medidan, they should take my money. So maybe they'll go on the bottom and they'll take my money. Or maybe they'll go on the top and they'll take my money and the charity money will be protected. Okay? Or if the ground starts molding and ruining the cash in the bottom, it'll take my money and not the charity money. So they made fun of him and they called him the orphan money eater. Look what a tzaddik he was. Alma diyad'i. We see from here that they know what's going on. He said, you're coming tomorrow. You're coming, not tomorrow. You're joining us soon. Ba'agal. You're joining us soon. And so the answer is Shani Shemuel. No, come on. Shemuel, the great Rabbi Shemuel, Kivan de Hashib, he's such an important person about to join them. Kadmi umachrizi. They go and they announce for such a guy like this, Panu makom, make way. Shemuel is coming to join us. But that's an exception. But a regular person, they would have no idea he's coming to join us. And so we're back to having no proof that the people who are gone from us, know what's going on. And now we're almost done. It's like 3 lines left. Ve'af Rabbi Yonatan hadad be. The Gemara says, Rabbi Yonatan, who argued on Rabbi Chiya, and Rabbi Yonatan said, they don't know what's going on. Sisita in the grave, no problem. Hadad be. He retracted what he said, and he actually agrees that they do know what's going on. De'amar Rabbi Shemuel bar Nachmani amar Rabbi Yonatan. He said, how do you know that dead people, they talk to each other? Hashem told to Moshe, Zot ha'aretz asher nishba'ti le'Avraham le'Yitzhak le'Yaakov lemor. This is the land that I swore to Avraham, Yitzhak, Yaakov lemor, saying, what do you mean lemor? This is the land I gave to them, I swore to them. What does it mean lemor? My lemor. Amar HaKadosh Baruch Hu Moshe, Lech emor lahem. I want you to go to Avraham, Yitzhak, and Yaakov and tell them, Lech emor lahem le'Avraham, Yitzhak, and Yaakov, Shevu'ah shenishba'ti lachem, kevad kayamti le'banichem. I have fulfilled my promise. Go tell them. Now Gemara says, V'isa kadatach delo yad'i. If you're going to say they don't know what's going on down here, they don't have any more brains, no more sechel, ki amur lehu, may haveh. What's he going to tell them? They're going to say, what are you talking about? What land? What people? What are you talking about? Gemara says, Elamai diad'i. We see from here, they know what's going on. And when Moshe comes to them, they're going to say, yes, we were waiting for the kids. They got Hashem finally gave it to the kids. Thank you for telling us.
They know they don't need to be announced.
So the Gemara says, Lama lehu. Why do I have to tell them it then? Why does Moshe have to tell them good news? The Jewish kids, they just got the land of Israel. Don't they know already? And the Gemara answers, Really, they know already that he gave the land. Hashem says, Moshe, I want you to go and tell them, by the way,
I did it. I brought them into, I gave them to Yehoshua, who's bringing them into the land, so they should tell Moshe, thank you. Hazak Baruch. Hashem wanted Abraham, Yitzhak, and Yaakov to say thank you to Moshe.
For bringing them to the...
For bringing them out.
Muftacha that was promised
Yes, but
to them.
really they knew all along. And so the Maskana of the Gemara is, Rabbi Yonatan does not argue on Rabbi Yochia. They both say, people who are deceased, they know very well what's going on. They're very aware. They talk to each other. The only thing we don't know is if the son of Rabbi Hiya ever changed his mind as well. Because Rabbi Hiya's two sons also had an argument. We don't know if the son also changed his mind to make like his father. But the father, Rabbi Hiya said, they know. And so the Maskana and all these great stories are teaching us what? People who left us, you think they're gone, they're not gone. They know exactly what's going on. Even more, they know what's happening. Don't worry, we just can't see them with our eyes. But our neshama and their ruach is here, and the nefesh is here, and we should give them all aliyah. We could do mitzvot for them, and give them aliyah. Baruch Adonai Olam, amen,
יש למה רבה משתמנים, חיים ושלווה וישועה ונחמה וזרע וזרע וזרע